KONSENSUS NETWORK.
All right, we're recording. How are you, Bitcoin Mermaid?
Yay, I'm good. Good, recovering from all the relay partying.
Yeah, let's talk about that before we talk about Orange Pill App, because I had Julian and Adam on recording yesterday, and they were talking about their trip to Istanbul and how much fun it was to see like the team, how much it's grown over like the last 2 years, and to have you guys on the boat dancing and having fun and, you know, happy for the future and engaged in what you're doing was so fulfilling. Tell us a little bit about the trip and what you do at Relay.
Well, I do customer support since New Year, since the 1st of the 1st. And the trip was amazing. It was like the first time I got to meet everybody, because the last summit was a little bit before New Year's. I do know like Adam and Julian and all of them from the office, because I live really close, like half an hour from the office. So we see each other on Thursdays. And it was so amazing. It was so amazing to see everybody out of their work environment in their like, just being themselves, you know, like when people drink a little bit, then usually they relax, and they were so happy. All of them had so big smiles. It was so nice to see them like that, like so freely and just going crazy a little bit.
So what was the drink? What was the drink of Istanbul? There's a special...
that's lucky. It's like anise, I guess. They're like what's the English version of that? Because in Spain we've got anís del mono.
Mm.
And
in French, would it be it'd be like pastis, I suppose, in French? Yes. Right, okay. So like an aniseed, I don't know, like Zambuca, is that along the same kind of thing?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that is. But so they mix it with water, and it's sweeter. It looks like a vodka, but when you mix the water in, it like becomes like white. It looks like milky. Yep. Just really interesting. But yeah, so that was the main drink. But I guess lots of them drank beer and other things. So it was like we didn't only drink raki. On the second night, there was a big raki moment.
So this is one thing a lot of plebs like to learn about, how you transitioned from working in a fiat job to landing yourself with a Bitcoin job. Many people out there are trying to do the same thing. What was your journey? How did you make it happen? What could you advise other people to do?
I like the last question. But first of all, I don't think I ever really had a fiat job. Like, at least not like really, really. I mean, I like last year I had a job for like a couple of months in a bar. It was like 1 or 2 nights a week I would work there. But it was only like a couple of months. And actually, I keep on forgetting about that job, because it really it's not even really in my radar. And before that, I didn't really ever have, like once I worked for a bicycle mechanic, but that was also over this, in Switzerland, you get like free money off the state if you're poor and you don't have a job and you don't have studies and you don't have family and blah, blah, blah. And that is kind of my situation. So I do get this money from the state, and then they force you to like work in something. So I was working in a bicycle mechanic store once, which was awesome. I loved it. But it was also kind of over them, and it wasn't like something that I found because I needed a job, because I wanted to have money. I mean, yes, all of that was the case, but so then I took the bicycle mechanic one, because I was like, okay, I don't want to participate in this society. I don't want to, like, they can all call, and excuse my language, fuck themselves. So bicycle mechanic, okay, yeah, I'll do that, because I feel like it's something personal. Like, I will enrich my life through knowing how to fix a bicycle. I think that's awesome. It's like basic mechanics. I love mechanics. So it was more like, I looked at it as a personal growth thing. And like I tried to look for jobs because these social services, they force you to look for jobs. They're like, yeah, we give you free money, but you got to like show that you're willing to re-enter this society.
Right.
And I was like always looking for jobs, but I never found anything. And then the few things that I was like, okay, yeah, I could imagine, like I'm kind of agreeing with their values that they represent. And I could imagine working there, but it never worked out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really happy actually now that is like that, because it was never like 100% like, yes, 100% I want to work for these people. Like I believe in their values and they're my values. And like, this is how I feel with Relay, like, or with Bitcoin in general, with having a Bitcoin job in general. It feels like I can finally be in it 100%, like with all my being, with all my strength, with all my energy, like everything that I am is in there. And it's just because I feel like I'm doing music since 16 years, and I'm doing music to make the world a better place. That's it. Like, there's anything I would have chosen would have been for that reason. And that when I chose what to do with my life and I chose music, that was the reasoning behind it. I was like, okay, like I need to do something where I feel like I'm at least spreading the message. If I'm not literally like working on some machine that is going to clean the ocean, or like, I don't know, some other crazy technical stuff that is really what I would have liked to do, like some engineering or something like that, which I didn't get the chance because of my complicated childhood and family and no money and just everything really hard. And so in the end, it's like, okay, music is something that is also like helping me. So I'm going to do this. This is seems the best way that I have in my toolkit to try and achieve what I want, which is a better world. Like, so when I started to hear about Bitcoin in 2015, it was like, oh, finally, this is the borderless money that I have always been dreaming of since I can remember, like 4 or 5 years old. Like, I just thought, like, well, I don't believe in borders, and why should there be different money types? Like, just doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense for a 5-year-old, then it really just doesn't make sense, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if even a 5-year-old can say that, like, what the fuck? So when I heard about Bitcoin, it was like, oh, finally, this is here. And then I just always felt like I'm not enough. Like, I'm not good enough to actually work in a Bitcoin company. I don't have technical background. I don't have business background. Like, who is gonna like want to hire somebody? Like, I know how to clean, how to cook, and how to play music, and that's basically, well, yeah, a few other things. But so 2 years ago, when I got into Bitcoin more intensely, and then like 7-8 months ago, when I deleted everything else, like Facebook, Instagram, which I wasn't using for years. It was just like sitting on my phone, and then sometimes wasting my time, like randomly once a week, I would like look into it and be like, what am I even doing here? So I got into Twitter, and then everything changed. Like, I found the Orange Pill app, and that's basically the reason why I went to Lugano. And thanks to that, everything changed, because I met Max Kaiser in Lugano. And then, well, soon after that, I met Julian Linninger here in Winterthur at the startup night, which is also through Twitter that I saw that he was there. And I really wanted to meet him already in Lugano, and I missed him there. So I was like, oh my God, like literally a week later, he's like 10 minutes from my home. Like, oh my God, definitely I'm going there. So I went there. There's like, I don't know, 300 startups. And I went like directly to Relay. That's the only reason why. And in a way, I would say that is kind of all thanks to Orange Pill app, because I wouldn't have went to Lugano if it wasn't for the first few people that I talked on Orange Pill app. They were like, oh, did you come to Amsterdam? And I was like, no, it's so sad. They're like, oh, but are you going to Lugano? And I'm like, what? And so that's like how I discovered that Lugano Plan B is not just this movement that Lugano has to integrate Bitcoin, but it's also the conference which I didn't get that until that point. And so like it was a week before it happened, and I was like, should I go? Okay, right. I even packed my guitar and I just left there with my Dollar Apocalypse song that I wrote for Max and Stacy, and yeah, then I didn't know what was gonna happen, like if I was gonna meet there or if I was gonna be able to play them the song or anything, but I just did, and it all worked out, and it was amazing.
You got to play them the song?
Yeah, well, Stacy didn't have time, but Max was there. Mm-hmm. Stacy was working and talking and being her important usual self. Yeah, and Max was at the To the Moon, the Satoshi Gallery. He was standing there, and then I appeared, and we had already met before, so it wasn't like the first time. Mm-hmm. The day before we met, and then that day he's standing there, and it just happened. Improvised.
No,
there's on the Orange Pill Jam YouTube. The video is up, the one with him at Lugano.
Orange Pill Jam, yeah.
Yeah, all right. That's YouTube.
So. The one thing I like talking about on this show is how people were predisposed to Bitcoin without even knowing it before Bitcoin was even released. And you've hinted...
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Like, I really like that question, but I just remembered the other question you made that I kind of didn't remember, didn't answer. So like you said, what would you say to people that want to get...
what would be your advice? Okay, yes. Yep.
So like just put yourself out there, like just give it your all. Like if that's really what you want, just scream it out there into the world. Just go onto Twitter, read the tweets of the important people out there, and follow the Bitcoin maxis that you would like to work for, and then just like their tweets, comment their tweets, just be positive, just be supportive, and just don't have any expectations. Are you like, for me, it is that. And I'm like, I'm in it for the long run. Like, this is it. You know, we're gonna die on this hill. Like, fucking, yeah. I don't care if I get paid more or less. I just need to survive, and I'm doing this for hyper Bitcoinization. I don't do it for Julian Linninger or for Adam, even though I love them and they're great, and I love that they're my bosses. But we're all working together on something so much bigger than us. And it's not about the money. It's about fixing the world. And yeah, we have to survive. But I think Bitcoiners look after each other. And if they see that you are there and giving it your all, they're going to look after you, and you're going to get some sats some way or another to survive. And that's, I think, the important thing.
Yeah, for sure. And you've had a smile on your face the whole interview so far, so you're clearly in a good place. So like this idea of what was happening in our lives before Bitcoin was even released that predisposed us to finding Bitcoin. And you already said at 4 or 5 years of age, you didn't believe in borders, couldn't work out what this money thing was, questioning life. I mean, the state must hate you because they don't like people like that, especially in Switzerland. Is that where you grew up? Yeah.
Yes.
So you're supposed to be in school, not questioning, doing as you're told, following the rules. This is one of the, being gaslit into believing you're the most neutral country in the world, one of the richest countries in the world, the banking financial center of the world. All of this nice, cushy stuff that gets fed through the education system and force-fed down people's necks and into their brains and programs them. You were clearly already fighting that with every fiber of your body. Why do you think that is? And, what are you happy to share with, some of the situations that led you to really understanding Bitcoin?
It is definitely because I did not grow up here, or at least not always. I was born in a hippie community in South Spain. I think that says it all. Hippies are very anti-money and anti-government and definitely anti-banking and credit cards. And and that they are also anti-borders, and they believe that we are all the one, and that color doesn't matter, and they believe in all the colors of the rainbow, right? And it's like this mentality or these values were just there. Everybody, every child heard their parents talking about this. And then you just, I mean, at least for me, it was something that I guess I still am very observant, and as more hypocrisy there is, as more I start to question things. And in this hippie community, there was a lot of hypocrisy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not just in the outside world. And I could see like both, and it's just, yeah, so I questioned a lot of things. Like for me, also since I'm very small, money is not the problem. Like I always, like I never really understood it. I could say that even now I still don't really understand it. But like money, I always thought when I was little, yeah, if you have a lot of money, it's your choice what you do with it. You can be an asshole, or you can go and save some polar bear or some forest, or like whatever you want, right? If you've got loads of money, you can do loads of things. You decide where that money goes, and that has a lot of power. And so I was never really agreeing with this. Yeah, this hippie mentality, this anti-money thing was not something that I could relate to. Even when I was small, I saw that there was some sort of hypocrisy behind it. As in, you're a hippie, you're saying anti-money, you don't want this, you don't want that, but you do still participate and you do still use money. So it obviously doesn't work without it completely. So it obviously isn't just evil. Like there has to be some other thing that we're just not getting yet. And I guess that now I understand that the problem wasn't the money. The problem was the soft money, the unsound money. And now I would even say that if money is real and hard and sound, it's actually like an incredibly beautiful thing, and not something ugly and horrible and evil, but actually something amazing and beautiful that like opens up so many opportunities and possibilities.
It's amazing to think that, yeah, like a hippie community, they would be the perfect people to orange pill, because hard sound money leads to peaceful civilization.
Yeah.
And a community that can trust each other. Whereas, I mean, they're right to not believe in the fiat monetary system.
Yeah.
But they're missing like that thing that, it links our species. This idea of a medium of exchange that we all agree upon to, express value to each other. You got some orange pilling to do in the hippie community.
You know what? I don't know, man.
Or have you checked out?
I did kind of, yeah.
What? How long were you there? How long did you spend growing up there?
Well, I was there like 100% until I was 6.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, 100%. Like we always came like for a month or 2 or 3 to visit, Switzerland or grandparents anywhere, or even like other people. Just like there was traveling. That's what hippies do, right? But like our base was there in El Moryon in this hippie community, and I had all my friends there, and I felt like I was living there. My heart was there, and that was my home. But then with 6, we started, well, like my parents, they were fighting ever since ever.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was 6, my mother was already gone. And at some point my dad decided to leave as well. So I had to leave with my dad. And then at some point my mother came back, and then I had like backwards and forwards in Switzerland and Spain and this and that and the other. And like the fucking nightmare began. And yeah, it's still happening. The nightmare is still happening.
Well, sorry to hear that. But on a brighter note, Lauren's just walked in to ask you her question. Hang on a second. Say hello to the Bitcoin Mermaid. So, what is your question?
Well, why are you a mermaid?
Oh, that's a good one. it just like, I guess, was my destiny, or maybe I have always been a mermaid. It just happened. Slowly, things started to come, like things of the sea, and then my leggings, my mermaid leggings, they're the like last thing that happened. I used to have green hair, and yeah, it just happened.
Are you a mermaid?
Last time I checked, no, but I am a Bitcoin now.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's so good. But maybe there is a mermaid inside of you somewhere, and you just have to find her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you go swimming, what other questions do you have?
Why did you join Orange Pleb?
Well, because it's the coolest app in the world. I love it. It's that I'm a Bitcoiner too, and sometimes I get a little lonely because there's not that many of us out there. And I'm like, I really want to try and find the Bitcoiners that I have close to me, and maybe we can meet up and take some orange pills together.
Yeah.
Well, are you gonna be in Prague for the conference?
Well, I would love to, but it's a little bit too much, and I don't really want to go on my own. Like, I've got so much work to do for Lugano Plan B for the Orange Pill Jam launch party.
Okay, so when's Lugano going to be this year?
The 22nd
October?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's put that on the list. Oh,
yeah, you've got to come.
So many things to get to.
Where you at? Where you live? Where do you live?
We're in the south of France.
Ah, well, then you can come. It's not that far.
Yeah, exactly. we would love to. We want to get to all of them, but they keep stacking up.
Well, next year I'll go to all of them to play music.
So, do you want to ask your other question about Bitcoin? Your usual question.
What's your favorite thing about Bitcoin?
I really believe that if we fix the money, we can fix the world. And I think Bitcoin is that fixed money that we need.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you too. Bye.
Right. So, where were we before? You were talking about, the hippie community, and then being moved around from place to place. So getting a strong feeling that something was up and weird in the world. So when...
Yeah, and also because my life wasn't easy because, well, I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that had it a lot harder than I had. But like growing up in a hippie community with all of these values about peace and love and this and that and the other, I look at the world and I thought we live in this beautiful paradise. And the only thing we have to do is to chill our balls and enjoy. And then I could like look, I'd see all these people fighting and warring, and it's like, at some point, it became really hard to be happy because everybody else isn't, and it's just like, it's just really, you like come into the room like, hey, what happened? Everybody's like, oh, shut up. Oh, we're not in a good mood. Like, oh. And so that like, I've always been like trying to find that one place or those people, the place and people where I can live that simplicity that I know can be. I just know we could all just chill out and enjoy. Like, we don't have to fight or worry, or as long as we communicate and care about each other and work with each other, I'm sure there would be a way. I'm not saying we would never argue, but yeah, just like keep it in check, like there's a certain limit that if you overpass that, then it's just not normal anymore. It's just not okay. And I've always been trying to like find that, and I've never found it. And it's just always felt, and it just, yeah, it still feels like that. But since I work for Relay, finally it feels like I'm getting a little bit of a break. But still, like everything else, not like the whole world around. I came up with this term, planetary claustrophobia.
Okay.
I think this is like exactly, like this is what I felt like my whole life. It's just like nowhere to escape. There is rubbish everywhere. There's contamination everywhere. There's this stressed people everywhere. And I'm just like, I just want to like escape, disappear, dissolve myself into thin air, like go to another planet, ideally, right? Like somewhere where nobody's been yet. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, I kind of lost a little bit. What was the question?
No problem at all. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there. Well, I guess you could say you live in cyberspace now with cyberspace money, with cyberspace friends on Bitcoin Twitter and Orange Pill app, where you clearly found your people. So I'd love to know actually how many other people have you managed to meet on Orange Pill app? Have you used it to be able to go and meet in real life and have deep discussions and find your people in the physical space as well?
Yes, I even organized a event not so long ago.
Good for you.
But it was like a last minute thing, and only like 2 people came. Well, one came, like he came with his girlfriend. He wanted us to orange pill her. And then another girl came also from the app, but I actually had met her on the Swiss Bitcoin conference after we already connected on the app. And I don't know, like, actually I get like a lot of messages on the orange pill app. Well, it like depends. Sometimes there is like a quiet time, but then suddenly I do get like a lot of messages, and it's yeah, well, I kind of want to use the Orange Pill app for meeting people around in my area. I don't really want to write to people on the other side of the world, like, hi, yeah, oh, nice to meet you. Oh, when did you get into Bitcoin? I mean, yes, all cool, but I need physical human contact. Like, I've got enough virtual reality happening in my life. And so sometimes I guess some messages go under a little bit. So if anybody of those people is listening, I'm really sorry. Just write me again and I will answer.
Well, I checked earlier and I think we're like 420 miles away. So yeah, here we go. 410, give or take the 10 or 15 miles, because it doesn't tell you exactly where everybody is. Yeah, I love it. Musicians starting the Orange Pill Jam project. Accelerate hyper-Bitcoinization with Tropical Paradise Island tunes. Awesome. Gypsy dub, Afro-Latin, hip-hop fusion to dance and learn Bitcoin. Yeah, to join, write me a DM.
Yeah, so actually to
what's the project?
join...
What you got to tell us.
It's just music. It's fun music. It's just really cool music with Bitcoin lyrics. And yeah, you didn't hear any of my songs yet?
I want to say most likely, but where would I have heard them?
Well, I shared them on Twitter, of course. They are on YouTube, on SoundCloud and Wavelake. But like, I guess you would have heard it on Twitter, or like some people retweeted it, like Max Kaiser retweeted the songs. yeah, you can just go to YouTube and listen to. There's 3 already released.
Okay. And the YouTube channel is Orange Pill Jam, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
The Orange Pill Jam project is like the full name, but the handle is Orange Pill Jam, so everywhere is Orange Pill Jam.
I'm going there right now. The Orange Pill Jam project. Subscribe. And then videos. Here we go. Toxic Max Immalist. Yeah, okay. Dollar Apocalypse, the Orange Pill Jam project. All right, okay. And then there's the video of you actually playing it to Max here, yeah?
Yes.
Excellent. 3 months ago. I don't think I've seen these, you know.
Oh, wow. You're in for a treat.
Which is crazy. And you know what? Actually, shout out to Pubby and Anders. I'm sure you know the Toxic Happy Hour on Twitter or Spaces. If not, follow at Publord and at Anders. They threw the Toxic Happy Hour party that was sponsored by Swan in Miami, an after party the first day, and they had this rooftop setting in an outdoor cinema in Miami. So you've got the most amazing kind of view and whatever else. And
they were playing my song there.
Did they?
Yeah, they were playing my song there because one of the girl that I met in the Swiss Bitcoin conference, she's also an Orange Pill app, and she was here at the meeting that I did, the Orange Pill, the Orange Pill app meeting, whatever.
Yeah, the event you threw. Yep.
So, and she's like a super, like she's my biggest fan. She's so sweet. You saw my other podcast with the rabbit hole stories.
Right.
Rabbit hole. Yeah, and yeah, she loved it, and she loves my music, and she was at Miami. Mm-hmm. And she played the song on the rooftop terrace. I mean, I don't know if it was the second night or the first night or whatever, but she sent me a video of the song playing on the rooftop on the
That's
Swan
amazing.
Party.
Because what they did, they had, on the big cinema screen, they had a 1 hour feature length movie of Bitcoin Twitter memes. And everybody sat down. Well, a bunch of people sat down. You could sit on these really comfortable deck chairs and just watch the big screen out in the open air with a beer and whatever else, cocktail, whatever it was you wanted. And sure enough, all of the memes started coming out and everyone was just laughing. And you realize how much you've missed over like the last even 5 years, because you'd be sitting there. And I was actually sitting next to Carla of the Crypto Couple at one point, and her memes were coming up, and she was singing along to them next to me. I'm like, this is so freaking cool. But then I would turn to her. I'm like, I've missed this meme. When did this one come out? I have no idea. I missed this one too. There's so much content out there that people have missed. But then some of the classics you remember from years and years ago. So I would, once I get a chance, I'm going to go through your songs, and either I've seen it and it clicks a memory and I can pinpoint a time in the past that I remember it dropped, or it's brand new and it's gold. You know, I love all of the things that go out there in the Bitcoin world, in the content creation world. And also the first night, I think the night before the conference kicked off. So after the industry day, the Lightning Ventures guys were putting on Rockamoto, where they had all different Bitcoin musicians playing just in like an open mic night in a bar. We missed it. We didn't get to go, but I heard great things. Canute was there playing and singing, and a bunch of other Bitcoiners. So this is something really worth putting on any conference, like the night before or a closing party. Just get all the Bitcoiners that can play and can sing, and just get them up there, just jamming together. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, I'm actually organized. Well, my as you will hear, my music is not a microphone and guitar situation. It's a Selecta and DJ situation, and like big pumping speakers. If we can get like a what's it called? A sound system, like a proper dub sound system. That would be the ideal, because that's what I do. We do dub.
Well,
Like,
Mark from the Princess Hotel in Germany was an ex-pro DJ, right? I don't know if you know him. He'll have all of that stuff.
yeah, well, I don't know what he has, but like sound system, most people don't have a sound system because it's like you make it yourself usually.
Right.
And that would be the next step at some point, to make an orange pill sound system. Like to build it from zero and like have it, like get the truck to go with it. So you'd like move the truck with the sound system, and just go to, I don't know, just make orange. Maybe that's a stupid idea. I don't know.
No, it's
just
not.
fun.
It's a great idea. I'm already thinking of two people that would love to make you, to be able to help you with it. And that's Max DeMarco, who's Pleb Music on Twitter. He would have a good bunch of contacts for you. And also Roger 9000, he's an Australian based out of the UK. He does all this wacky, funky music based to the backdrop of memes. He interweaves all of the memes with his music. It's amazing, and seeing it live is cool as well. There's going to be.
You've mentioned these two guys, and before you mentioned one or two other things.
Mark from the Princess Hotel in Germany.
But before you mentioned the guys that do the spaces and the stuff.
Oh, the Toxic Happy Hour guys, yeah.
Could you remember all these things and just send them to me in like a message afterwards? Now yourself.
Absolutely. And in Avon Valley in the UK, last weekend of July, over the 24th of July, there's a Bitcoin conference going on, family conference going on in an Adventure Wildlife Park, Avon Valley. And they're going to have Dominic Frisby's bringing his band. Roger 9000 is going to be there. There's going to be Joe Martin from Bitcoin Twitter as well, who's releasing all of his album on Fountain. So music is creeping in to Bitcoin conferences for sure.
That's so cool. It's amazing, because I only know about Pleb Rap. Actually, one more on Wave Lake that I discovered that is also doing Bitcoin music. Mm-hmm. But like that's like the only two I know. Like, and I've been trying to find like Bitcoin music and music, and like going through Twitter and trying to actively ask people, "Hey, do you know any Bitcoin musicians?" And I didn't really get nothing back. But right. I did know that Knut Svanholm he was a musician. I used to, or like he, I guess, still is. But he mentioned that on the Rabbit Hole Stories podcast. He talked about his past, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" Yeah. I really like the way he thinks and what he's got to say and how he talks. And that was just like, oh, obviously, of course, he's a musician.
There's a lot of very talented Bitcoiners out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm always so jealous because they know how to do programming and play music. And I'm like, oh, damn. Maybe one day I'll know how to do programming too.
Well, I can do neither or even sing. So, don't feel too bad. You're way ahead of the crowd. Well, I should ask you like the final question as we start wrapping up. If you had one orange pill left to give to somebody, who would you give it to and why?
Whoa. Oh. Just one. I guess I'd take it myself just in case that I ever think. No.
Double down.
No, I really don't know. I mean, is there any hope left for these people? Would it be more dangerous if they get orange pill? But yeah, I don't know, like some Jamie Dimon or some Christine Lagarde or someone like that. Maybe Donald Trump, but maybe not him, because I don't know. That's the thing, is like these people would it actually be more dangerous if they get orange pills? Or does getting orange pill also mean that they're psychosis would heal somehow.
You
And
would
then
hope
they-
so, right? I mean, it certainly changed the wiring of our brains. Anybody that's really interacted with Bitcoin for any length of time certainly feels that kind of rewiring as an
Definitely.
analogy.
But on a kind basis, like my brain has been fucked up, but my heart has always been kind and pure. So what does it do with somebody who has an evil heart and a fucked up brain? It's just like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think someone like that, and now I would just like stay and make sure that it's all.
You'd be the shaman. You'd be like that.
Yeah, just in case they like go even more crazy, so they don't.
Oh yeah, you just leave them on the boat and get everybody else off onto the lifeboat.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just. I mean, how far down the rabbit hole have you gone with like the Bank of International Settlements, for example, and all of that craziness when you start looking into the central banking and how it was all devised in the first place?
Sorry, what word? I just didn't.
All of the central banking, how that was all put together in the first place back in the early 1900s. Have you gone down all of that kind of deep, dark history?
I mean, I still have a little bit left of the Bitcoin standard, but in the beginning of the book, it already talks about all of that. And yeah, I always get like the dates confused and what exactly was what, but somehow I think I've got like a picture of kind of what is happening.
Yeah, which
and
you already
what's
felt
happening.
intuitively.
Yeah, and I think this has been happening also already since before, right? Already like in Rome, it happened a few times, like similar shit. So yeah, I guess it's. But sorry, what was your question?
I just wondered how much you dug into like who those because you were talking about the evil psychotic people that run the world. I just wondered how far you'd gone down, read The Creature of Jekyll Island or The Secrets of the Federal Reserve or any of these kind of books.
Like, can we also choose people that are dead already to orange pill with that one left orange pill?
Why not? Like, it's a completely hypothetical question.
Because maybe like somebody like Thomas Edison or even Colon, like that would have been people that needed to be orange pill. But yeah, Thomas Edison, I think he fucked up a lot of what we think to be true today. Fucking bastard. He would have been a good person to orange pill. I think a lot of things would be different right now.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
Oh, well, he just stole like 150 patterns from Tesla in like half a year. Like the first half year that Tesla went over there, he was working for Edison or like the first year or something. I think the first 6 months he was working as a street worker, and then the first year after that for Edison, and Edison stole like 150 patterns of him, and like he didn't invent the light bulb and shit like that. So it's like this part of history is totally based on a lie, just as the financing books that you're studying, in the last like 100 years in or maybe not 100 years, but yeah, in America and all these big universities, they're basically we get fed all these lies, and people think that they're true. Like they think like Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. People need to spend money, if not we get inflation. Like, what the fuck? Like, who the hell they wrote this shit, and who is so stupid to just go and believe it? Like, it just makes me really pissed off.
Yeah,
I love Tesla. He's like, for me, like one of the greatest people that have ever existed, and I think it was so horrible what has been done to him and the way like his life ended. And Edison burned down Tesla's home twice. Like his whole home, he just burned down his whole sidewalk. It's just, yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. And that's why I say, these education systems, there's not a curriculum there. There's an agenda, and that agenda is to feed you with a bunch of bullshit that has been, the narrative has been crafted in such a way to have you believe in certain things and just be able to parrot them. Like World War One started in 1914 because the Franz Ferdinand got shot by Princip, the Black Hand, a Serbian terrorist. Yeah, just everybody recite that at the same time. Good society done. It's like, no, everybody's learning the same thing from the same pages. Slightly different depending on which border, in air quote, that you are surrounded by. And we just need to be free of it because it is just an indoctrination machine.
So yeah, fuck patterns. And what's it?
Yep.
And open source, everything. Like
Exactly.
Jack Mallard. And then we don't have that problem anymore.
No, we have free market open competition where things get better and cheaper at the same time. Who would have thunk a thing?
Yeah, that's something we were talking about with Julian when we were walking down the market in Istanbul, because there's all these cheap suitcases there. Like literally every shop has like 100 fake suitcases. And I was saying, like, if you use so many raw materials to produce a lot of trash that breaks after 2 days, you need even more raw materials to produce that trash again. But now what happens is that the guys that are actually trying to make good suitcases, they also need to pay more for the raw materials because there is less, because so much, like 80% of them get used for shit crap, which if you would produce good stuff out of it, you would have to produce, let's say 10% instead of 80. So you suddenly have like 70% more raw materials that would make the price go a lot lower. So you'd have like some dude that making a really good suitcase, and it's actually not that expensive because he doesn't have to pay a liver for the raw materials that are so expensive because there's 80% being used for shit. So it's like, this is unbelievable. Yeah.
That's what fiat money does. Fiat money that gets printed into oblivion and random subsidies to certain sectors is just, that is where the evil really lies.
So what Julian said is, like, if you have, fiat money creates, so inflation creates cheap and loads of products, and the opposite. No, if you've got hard money, you also get less but higher quality products. Mm-hmm. So you have less rubbish, basically.
Yeah, and that product will just be iterated and iterated upon by entrepreneurs in the market that see that product and know that they can make it better. Because there isn't a patent on it, and because it's not subsidized, they can go out and compete in the free and open market and make something better for cheaper.
And if you have to pay it out of your own pocket,
yep,
then you're going to think twice about if you want to plastic wrap the food that you're selling.
Yes.
Or maybe it is not necessary to plastic wrap it. Maybe I can just sell like tomatoes like that. Like maybe I don't need to put them on a cardboard box around plastic. And suddenly I think, I believe it's going to change everything. And I know lots of Bitcoiners do not agree with me on that level, but I do believe that Bitcoin will solve most of these things. And the only things that Bitcoin will not solve is just, well, there is always going to be a psychopath somewhere. And that is not something that can be solved with Bitcoin or medicine or no. That's just like a mistake in the production. No, like if you get a computer and there is a chip missing, well, the thing is just not going to work or not going to work properly. And you cannot like reprogram it and then it works. It's like you need to have that missing part, and if it's not there, that's just there. And then I think that there is people that actually do have missing parts, so that is something that we always will have to deal with. But it will be easy recognize, and it will be less.
Yes, it'll be easier to recognize, and instead of that, because today in the way that our society has been set up, those people get elevated. Like in the classic corporate world, like the office psychopath all of a sudden is running the floor. You're like, huh? How did that happen? It's because they have zero empathy and they can fire whoever they want when they want, and they have that yearn for power, so they will do anything to get it. Whereas because the fiat incentives are more money, that person will reach the top. Whereas you flip that on its head, we can sort ourselves out and look, well, that guy is clearly, he's not here for the thing, for whatever we're building, for the team, for the love of the product, for the love of the service. He's here to get to the top by any means necessary and trample all over everybody else, like Edison, who you talked about before. Right.
It's so nice.
When we flip that on its head, those incentives go away and you self-sort. And these people get shunned from society again rather than elevated.
Yes.
And this is where that Bitcoin does fix that. If there's a problem, Bitcoin will fix it.
Yeah. Totally. Oh my God, it's so nice to hear you say that. Yes. That's exactly what I believe. And it will take some time, of course. Maybe even some hundreds of years, but we're on the right path.
Or maybe it just takes a decade, because people wake up very, very quickly. And when they wake up, there's no going back. When your eyes are open, they're open.
Samsung just tweeted this morning. He said, people do not realize how fast Bitcoin can flip.
Yeah.
Like in a couple of days, maybe weeks, it can double or triple in price. Like, people do not realize that is possible. And I was like, oh fuck yeah. And if that is possible, then yeah, it is also possible that it might just take 10 years. And then, because these people are old and they are dying, and the new generation is coming, and yes.
And the new generation will be free, because the stackers, the people that hold the Bitcoin, when we do have that, well, everybody's got a point. Bitcoin's going to soar through a certain point where they can turn around and say, oh, I don't have to work 10 hours a day anymore for this fiat lifestyle that I'm trying to, just run 1,000 miles an hour to stand still. I can now step away and provide value to a Bitcoin project, or start my own Bitcoin project, like you with your music or whatever it is. It's just getting to that point. And so all of a sudden, every $10,000 that the price appreciates in Bitcoin, goodness knows how many people are being freed in the Bitcoin space to walk away from their fiat job and start giving back to the ecosystem, building an app, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Orange Pill app, the perfect example. Matteo now is in a place where he can build Orange Pill app, bring people together. The events tab on that app now is so populated. It's incredible. There is so much going on. So yeah, remain bullish, remain hopeful. Anybody listening, Bitcoin Mermaid is here to tell you that it's going to be fine. We got this.
Yeah, totally. I totally believe it. If anybody can do it, then it's us, and we are doing it. So I always say, like, Bitcoin gave me back hope, but when El Salvador adopted it, like, hope, that was it. Now it's a reality. Now that's just it. There's no reason to doubt anymore.
Bitcoin is reality. There you go. New tagline. All right. It's been great to hang out. Nice to meet you. We'll look into whether we can get across to Lugano, and then we'll be able to meet in person. If not, hopefully we'll be able to meet in person at some other point. And thank you for giving Orange Pill app a whirl. I'm glad it's really helped out, and you're going to meet more people. And thanks for coming on. Let the people know the best way to contact you and where they might be able to find you, and if you're doing any more meetups, where they can find the details for that.
Thank you so much, Daniel. I can only say this. It was so nice to talk to you and meet you. And I'm so happy to help Orange Pill app in any way. Just let me know. I'm here. And I want one of those hats. And to contact me, over Twitter is the best way. Just Bitcoin Mermaid. And yeah, you can follow me on YouTube, on SoundCloud, on Wavelake. If I do any other events in my nice little home, I will be posting them on Orange Pill app events. And there you can also contact me with my handle, Solarpunk13, I think it is, on Orange Pill app. And yes, I would be very happy to get in touch with more Bitcoin musicians. Obviously, only Bitcoin only musicians. And hopefully we'll see each other soon. Somewhere.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on. And we'll definitely meet in real life. Take care and have a good day.
Bye.